What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Well, we just finished up here at Sam Rayburn. We ended up 10th place. Today I wanted to go through and I'm going to show you the rods and reels, baits, line, all that good stuff, the juice, what I used this week to get a 10th place finish on Sam Rayburn. It's all coming up. Alright, well, as you can see, I had a ton of rods out on the deck. You know, I had a bunch of different baits. I was fishing a lot of brush piles, and those fish got very finicky. So I was rotating through a lot of different baits, a lot of finesse tactics, and really trying to trick those fish into biting. This side over here was my brush pile side. I kind of kept them separated on the grass side and the brush pile side. So we're going to start over here. Of course, I had the favorite Hex 7.2 medium heavy. That's all these spinning rods are this model right here. This is an excellent rod for your drop shots, a shaky head, a Nico rig, all those types of things I was using on this spinning rod. So this right here, this caught a lot of my fish that I weighed in this week. Like I said, it's the 7'2" medium heavy Hex. I got 20-pound Seaguar Smackdown braid, and then I was doing a 12-pound gold label leader. Down here we get to the Trocar. This is a TK 180 drop shot hook, a 2/0. I was switching up a bunch of different baits. Like I said, I was rotating through these highly pressured fish. This right here is the Googan Baits Dragon Drop and Natural Color. This was really good once the sun got up bright. You know, like today it was a clear day. There was no clouds, so I wanted this really natural looking bait. That's why I got this color right here. But I used a bunch of different colors from you know, purples, pinks, a little bit of everything on the end of the drop shot. Get down here, we got an Epic Tungsten Teardrop drop shot weight. This one right here is a 3/8. I used a quarter. Just I had a couple of different rods rigged up, just depending on the depth of the brush pile. I would up or lower my weight based on that. Look, the drop shot was a big player, and I weighed in a lot of fish on the drop shot here this week. So, moving on, we have this guy right here, and this was the Nico rig. This was for when there was not much wind, a little bit calmer, and I was able to really finesse those fish and work this bait through the brush pile. Same rod, favorite Hex 7.2 medium heavy, same line set up, 20-pound Seaguar, 12-pound gold label. But I went with this here. This is the Trocar TK 137 weedless. So this right here is an excellent wacky rig and Nico hook. These weed guards kept it out of the brush, and I wasn't getting snagged up as much. So this really helped work that bait through the brush. And then I was adding a nail weight in the bottom end here. That's an Epic Tungsten nail weight. I was varying the weight from 1/16 and 3/32. The weight didn't seem to matter. It's just a little something extra to help this bait sink fast and get down there into that brush. Sink a little faster, should I say. Okay. Also, I did catch a couple fish on this guy right here. This is the Epic Baits Underspin. Really impressed with this bait right here. You know, it's got these 2 wire weed guards, and you can bring this through the thickest of brush piles and it comes right through and never gets hung up. But when a fish eats it, he's getting hooked on that super stout hook right there. Nice blade. Excellent underspin right there. This is my favorite underspin I've ever used right there. And it caught a couple fish this week. In practice, it really helped me find the brush piles that had fish on, because even if they wouldn't eat it, they would follow it out of the brush pile, and I was able to see them with my live scope and able to then know to slow down in those same brush piles. But I threw this one on the favorite Hex 7'2" medium heavy casting rod. Then we got another drop shot and a jig rigged up. I don't think I caught any fish in the tournament on a jig, but that side right there was my brush pile side. Over here, this was my grass fishing side, and I caught a couple key big fish using these baits right here. We'll start with this guy right here. This is just a chatterbait. This is your Z-Man jackhammer. Favorite Hex 7'5" medium heavy rod. Soleus XCS 15-pound Seaguar InvisX fluorocarbon. That's just my favorite all around moving bait line. I use that a lot on a lot of these things. But I had a white chatterbait and I had a red chatterbait. I would vary just depending on what the water clarity looked like in the area that I was in at the time. I caught good quality fish on both of those right there. Also caught a couple key fish on a jerkbait. This is just a Megabass jerkbait. Like this, really like throwing jerkbaits on this Pro Series rod. This is the 7-foot medium heavy Pro Series. It is an excellent jerkbait rod. It's a very moderate medium heavy, so you're able to work the bait very well, and it still has that moderate action. When you hook up with a big fish, you don't rip those treble hooks out. Threw that on 12-pound Seaguar InvisX, just a little bit lighter than the chatterbait, just to help that jerkbait get down a little bit and help it work properly. Let's see what else we got here. We got a couple rattle traps. These right here. Caught a few fish. I don't think I weighed any fish on the traps. They kind of rode on the deck, and I would alternate them in with the chatterbait. But I have so much confidence in the chatterbait, I threw that a lot more. But I really have been throwing these traps on this right here. This is the Favorite Defender series rod, 7.5 medium heavy. It's a little bit more moderate than the Hex series, so that means the rod loads up and bends a little more than the Hex series. And I really like it for these treble hook baits because you're able to fight those fish and not rip the hooks out of their mouth. 15-pound Seaguar InvisX on there, Favorite Soleus XCS as well. So I had a couple of those. And then I had this here. This is the 7'6" Hex, 7'6" heavy Favorite Hex. And I was throwing a Senko, weightless Senko, lunker log, just dragging that around through the grass. I don't even know if I caught any fish on it, but I tried it. I just got in an area where I knew there was fish, and I just settled down and was dragging that around. But I don't think that actually put any fish in the boat this week, but it was on the deck. So that's pretty much it, guys. Those are the rods and the baits that got the job done here at Sam Rayburn. If you're interested in purchasing any of this, check the description down below. I'll put links to all this tackle, rods, reels, line, all that'll be available at fishusa.com. So check the description below. There'll be direct links. You'll be able to head over there and get the tackle that got the job done on Sam Rayburn this week.